So now the topic is about money, and I would like to welcome a person who is a representative of VUB Bank, member of Intesa San Paulo. And his presentation is going to be about funding tied to ESG. So, do you think you could fund this? You mean the monopoly on the European level, which is already functioning? For sure. Company which wants to cease to exist? Well. So the last presentation of our conference is going to be very nice, and don't be scared that it's going to be about money. So the floor is yours. Hello, good afternoon. I don't want to kill the atmosphere here. I want to, let's raise hands, those of you who consider green transformation or ESG to be the risk for us for the future, whether you consider it to be something which we should be worried about. There is one hand, and who can see that as an opportunity? 10 hands. So my first slide is not up to date anymore, because it shows how we see green transformation in Slovakia, and 40% of people see it as some kind of threat or risk, and more than 12% see it as opportunity. But I think that this is not does not apply to this conference, to this forum, because every presentation is about improvement and progress and how to make some things better. So if we see the countries with different views, whether it's Denmark, Sweden and Nordic countries, let's say, and then we see their GHG intensity of GDP, it somehow correlates, you see. So it really corresponds. So I'm happy that I'm here with people who want to move on. There are many indicators showing us who we are and where we are. There is energy intensity in Slovakia, where we are. It seems we have a huge road ahead of us in comparison to other European countries. And we are not heading, or we are not getting very close to them. So we have a lot of work in front of us. So let's start, and we as banks are looking forward, because when you come up with ideas, we have a new business to fund. And therefore we believe that we will also meet our targets, business targets or ESG or sustainability targets. So, and what about the green funding is already a norm, a standard. I very often hear the idea that yes, green solutions cost something, they are more expensive, you need more funding, and who's going to pay for it? So banks, they should give us some, let's say, better prices because it's a green solution. So let's see what it works like on the international market. So 1.5 years ago, there was this green one. This is the volume of the profit that the investors were ready to give up in to the benefit of the project was of 6 to 7 percentage points, and you see that there are more and more projects like this. There are companies, and the premium, they are ready to resign to fund something. Something good is dropping, and it's getting to zero. So those investors who wanted to give up their profit, I mean, there are less and less, and therefore the green products are going to be funded, and those which are not will be not funded that much. And the banks will have to consider that these projects that are not green will not be funded. So why we are doing it as banks? It's the main topic of my presentation, and how we as banks see these projects that you have presented and we are talking about for 2 days. Because we have to. That's the first reason, that's pragmatic. Regulation is pushing us to do some things, to report, to change processes. But also, very important thing that not many people are aware of, that we as banks manage risk. Until now, it was the credit risk that we were managing, so we took money from the people that had the money, and we gave this to companies and enterprises who needed it. And we guaranteed that those who we took money from will get the money back. But with the crisis, with the risks, we have new. With the crisis, we have new risks, whether it's physical risks, the more influence or bigger influence of weather and climate that negatively impact our society. We have here the example how much the negative climate results or the climate outcomes cost us. So this is something we have to learn to manage, and it has some impact on what we are ready and able to fund. Transition risks. We know that the entire society and economy have to get somewhere. Economics have to get somewhere, and it will require new technology, and this is related to a risk, and therefore we have to consider what to invest into and for how long. Today it makes no sense to invest into new coal mine or to diesel engine factory for 15 years because it makes no sense. And the third thing, which is the main one for us, it's the consumer sentiment, because we feel that there is a demand from companies, from clients, citizens to act responsibly and to bring solutions that will bring the company further. And we will move from these lower ranks of European countries to higher ones. And what does that mean? How we as a bank approach the support of sustainable transformation. To be able to do that, we declared some commitments to our environment to clearly say what we want to achieve, and so that everybody understands where we are heading and why we are doing some things, and we need data for this. Banks are very good at collecting data about financial performance. We know our client, we know the account of the company, but what the account look like from the sustainability point of view, we don't know. So emissions, what emissions? This is something that is very hard to discover or to calculate. Everybody tries to somehow find out. And we need that to move on. We also need to know the current environmental impact. There is this CSRD regulation, which is now quite a buzzword among companies in Europe. And those make us consider impacts on environment, water, biodiversity and others, and also social and the governance. So we still need new data. So what we need to know from you as companies and from the municipalities and any stakeholder, what you want to do in the future, whether you are compatible with our targets, when we want our portfolio to be carbon neutral, we need to know who we fund, and you need to have the same target, and if not, we have to agree how to set our common targets to make us compatible. And transition plans, this is exactly what that means. We need to know from our clients where they are heading and how they want to get there, and whether their plans are realistic and whether they are possible or feasible to do. And this is something the clients need to do for us and together with us, and we need to do for them, and for to be able to show where we are all heading. Maybe you've heard that, maybe not. Usually big companies discuss this. On the Slovak Association of Banks, we decided that each bank needs information from clients. They can come up with their own questions, but we said like, okay, it makes no sense to compete in questionnaires, so we all prepared a common questionnaire, all banks, with a common questionnaire for clients how they are doing. It has 58 clients. I don't know whether Hugo has this questionnaire in his QR code. It's a pain, we know that, but it's something we need to have to be able to accompany our clients on their ways. These physical risks are reflected on particular places. This is the information we never collected before. We need to know where they are doing their business, where they have their branches, where the physical risk can be reflected, where the climate or the weather can destroy their capacities or production. And there are other things, such as we need to know what we are funding to be able to assess whether it is sustainable or not. We have certain rules based on general principles, and based on this we can say that 30% of the new credits are sustainable. So we are relatively far away, and because I think we have made a lot of progress, but we are not there yet. There is still potential. So how can we measure green asset ratio of banks? And this is related with European taxonomy, about which Mr. Škirta spoke, and the rules are very complicated to show you or our clients or stakeholders. We need to evaluate this criteria and ask you for further data. So yes, it's hard, and I think it makes sense to pay attention and energy to that. And what we as the bank do, or what tools or instruments we use to support sustainable projects, we have special credits focused on the project. So this means that the green credits have certain discounts from the funding or from the repayments from the installments. So we want our portfolio to be green, not the other way around. And then loan, we do not consider what is funded by the loan, but whether the client is ready to change their conduct. So if they if they commit to change their conduct towards the transparency, towards the feasibility, towards the sustainability, we are ready to support the client, let's say by discounts from the interest rate. Of course, we cooperate with international institutions that also have their own support programs, and we bring those into Slovakia. And we are able to give credits to clients from these projects. So this is what our activity looks like, and I invite you to talk to us, to discuss how we can fund your project and help you put it into practice. Thank you.
Petya was the last presenter currently. Thank you for the representative of the VUB, the bank. And again, in my way, you've already did something for myself because, I just transformed from one bank to another, and I realized that I have a green card from you. Yeah, the greenest card is the one that is the virtual one, right? That doesn't exist. Oh yeah, I have some green one, and I do believe that you stay with us because other presenters that participated in this blog, and today's blog we will have a discussion because physically not many people stayed, but we also have online people watching us. We also have quite some questions, so we will still have a debate. We'll talk. So let's just take some chairs and let's debate. Please stay here, Peťo. Don't hurry. I would like to ask today's